important for folks to realize that you can only have campfires in certain places, like developed campgrounds just like this, and then in designated areas around the basin.
Now, if I do want a campfire, I got to have a permit, right?
Yep, all state and federal land, you're required to have a campfire permit, and it actually lines out in very good detail how to have a safe campfire and, more importantly, how to extinguish it and be responsible and keeping, sparks where they belong inside a campfire ring.
Well, now we know where you can have a campfire. Let's talk about where is it that campfires are not permitted. People might be surprised at this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Lake Tahoe is a very delicate ecosystem, and we need to protect our watershed, so we limit campfires to developed sites. So typically, people think, okay, I'm by the beach. I should be able to have, a charcoal barbecue or a campfire. And to protect our pristine waters, we want to make sure that no campfires are occurring anywhere on our beaches or in our wilderness areas.
So folks going backpacking to desolation, no campfires.
No campfires. They can bring a portable gas stove. Of course, permits are required. That would be just something as simple as going to your local Forest Service or CAL FIRE office or even BLM, and our partners with Bureau of Indian Affairs will issue these campfire permits, and they're free. They're free and easy to obtain.
All right, now here at Tahoe Valley Campground, this is an area that is a developed campground area. Yep. This is a campfire, but there's some elements about this that are very important people have to realize. And let's go over what we're looking at here with this campfire.
Yeah, what I love about this is it's an engineered campfire ring, which means it's set at a certain height and circumference that will keep the sparks inside. One of the first steps that you need to take in preparing for a campfire is clearing out the area. You'll notice on the ground the pine needles have been raked away, and that's so that if an ember escapes from the ring, it's not going to catch anything on fire. Another thing that I love about this campground is that they have water spigots. You can see just off to the side. There's plenty of water at hand, so all you need really is a bucket, a pot, something to carry that water over to the fire, and you're going to put tons of water on the fire when you're done with it. Stir it up really good. Feel with the back of your hand for heat, and if it's too hot to touch, it's way too hot to leave.
All right, and the other thing is really would be helpful, I understand. Here it's nice because you're right by a water spigot, but otherwise you need a bucket of water and a shovel at every campfire you're going to have.
Actually, it takes more than one bucket. You want to bring a ton of water, or at least have water available to you. So we've got, lakes and streams that you can get water from, and just bring the right tools for the job, a shovel, a bucket, and at least have access to a great amount of water.
And one thing that's also kind of forgotten is that in this ring you can see how it's actually elevated a bit. That's quite important because near the bottom of the fire a lot of embers escape, and you don't want them leaving the fire pit area. You want them to be contained and confined.
Absolutely, and that also goes into how you build the fire. You don't want to build it really big. I like the way they stacked this wood because it's a little more compact and the heat's going to be more centered, and hopefully we'll keep those sparks in the center of the ring. And
well, I think that's really important. When you do stack wood like this, you're still getting the same amount of heat, but the heat's going up, it's not going out, and the danger is when it starts going out that it can escape.
Absolutely, yeah. And then another important factor for folks to remember is make sure you're burning or having a campfire under the right conditions. If it's really hot, if it's really dry and very windy, it's probably not a good idea to have a campfire. Even in a place like this, we have a red flag warning system that we set in place that is, we work out with the National Weather System. They help alert us and the public when we have these really windy conditions. As storm fronts move in and the wind picks up, it's just not a good idea to have a campfire.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. That's some very important information. Listen, nobody loves campfires more than me. But remember, campfires are not permitted on forest land like desolation wilderness. They're not permitted on our beaches. They are permitted in designated areas only, and you need to know how to build one. And on the back of these permits, it tells you everything you need to know about how to build a campfire correctly. So we urge you get these permits ahead of time, and they're available where?
Any Forest Service office or your local fire departments. CAL FIRE has them. we have great resources out there. We just want everyone to be safe and remember one less spark is one less wildfire for Tahoe.
All right, great. And we want to thank the folks at Tahoe Valley Campground for allowing us to be here and showing us how to put together a campfire correctly. So that'll do it for today's interviews with CAL FIRE and the Forest Service today about fire safety in Lake Tahoe. We appreciate you tuning in. For Olivia, this is Dan McLaughlin for Lake Tahoe Television, going back into the campfire king himself, Mr. Mike Perrin.
Where did you come up with this stuff? Anybody? All right, well, you're watching Tahoe Today, which means we're going to update you here on Tahoe-specific news. Let's send it up to our Truckee Satellite Studio with Robert G. Scott.